welcome back. This is Mrs. Rubright with Algebra 1 Honors. Today's lesson is 8.8, completing the square. Alright, so complete the diagram by filling the bottom right corner with 1 tiles to form a square. Okay, so if I'm putting in ones, I would literally have nine ones. Right? So I would have x squared plus 6x, right? X squared plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6x plus 9. Okay, so this is the same thing as 1x squared plus 6x plus 9, which is 1x plus 3 squared. Because if I factored this, or I'd have 1 times 9, 3 times 3. This is x plus 3 times x plus 3, or x plus 3 squared. Okay? Look at the algebra tiles above. The x tiles are divided equally. The 3 tiles on the right and the bottom sides of the x squared tile. How does the number 3 relate to the total number of x tiles? How does the number 3 relate to the total to the number of 1 tiles you added? Okay, so 3 is half of 6. The number added, 9, is 3 squared. How would algebra tiles be arranged to form a perfect square trinomial? How many 1 tiles must be added? How is this number related to the number of x tiles? So you would arrange 4 x tiles on the right and bottom sides of the x squared tile. Add 16 1 tiles to complete the square. 16 is 4 squared. And 4 is 1/2 the number of x tiles. This makes way more sense when we use real numbers. You'll see. So, why do we complete the square? We complete the square so that we can get a perfect square trinomial that we can factor, like something times itself, right? So in order to complete this square, we need to identify b. So my b is 12. And what we do is we take this term, we divide it by 2, and we square it. So 12 divided by 2 is going to give me what? 12 divided by 2 is 6, and 6 squared, 36. Okay. I'm going to do this off to the side because I don't like how they're organizing the work. This is how I do it. So, x squared plus 12x plus blank. So you take this number, you divide it by 2, which is 6. And then you square it. Okay, you divide it by 2, and then you square it. X plus 6 times x plus 6 is this. Think about this. X plus 6 times x plus 6, x squared plus 6x plus 6x plus 36. It gives you this. We're completing the square so that it's something multiplied by itself. So you take the middle term, divide it by 2, and square it. So once again, divide by 2. What is negative 26 divided by 2? Negative 13, right? And 13 squared, 169. Divide by 2 and square it. You're taking this number, this b term, you're dividing it by 2 and squaring it. Is this making sense? In part A, b is positive, and in part B, b is negative. Does this affect the sign of C? Why or why not? No, because a positive times a positive is a positive, and a negative times a negative is a positive. How can you confirm that you've factored each trinomial correctly? FOIL it back out. All right, so if I had z minus 13 times z minus 13, z squared minus 13z minus 13z plus 169. Z squared minus 26z plus 169. Is that back to the original? It is, so I know I didn't mess anything up. Sorry about that interruption. So we're going to actually fast forward to the practice page because I just want to do a bunch of practice problems on this. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to work on how do we complete the square. All right, so on this one, if we're adding 1 tiles, we're going to be adding 4 1 tiles to complete that square, right? All right, so then on this, let's see, so they wanted us to complete the square by filling in the bottom right corner with 1 tiles and write the expression as a trinomial and in factored form. 1 second, please, guys. And sorry about the phone call. All right, guys, so we are finally back. So we have x squared. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4 1s. And that is our equation for that one. Is everyone clear on how I did that? Okay. So what is that factored? This is 1 times 4, 2 times 2, so it's really just x plus 2 squared. Right? X plus 2. Do you guys see this? X plus 2, x plus 2. X plus 2 squared would be the whole thing. You see that? This distance here is x plus 2. X plus 2, so it's x plus 2 squared. Yes? All right. So complete the square to form the perfect square trinomial, then factor the trinomial. So what is 10 divided by 2? What is 10 divided by 2? 5. And 5 squared? 25. What is 20 divided by 2? And 10 squared? What is 2 divided by 2? 1. And 1 squared? 1. Try number 5. Of course, they give you a nasty number for that one. You can just leave it as a fraction. So I got w minus 11 over 2 squared, and then it's 121 over 4. You guys okay so far? Let's try these. So the first thing we do is we set it equal to 0. So we have s squared plus 15s plus 56 equals 0. Oh, was I supposed to do that? I was not supposed to set it equal to 0 because I'm trying to complete the square. Sorry about that. Let me also pause this for 1 second while I answer the. Sorry about that other phone call, and we are back. So we are going to set this up as s squared plus 15s plus blank equals negative 56 plus blank, because we always want to figure out what the c term is that would make this a perfect square. So 15 divided by 2 is 15 over 2. And 15 over 2 squared. 15 squared is 225, I believe. Yeah. 225. And 2 squared is 4. So 225 over 4. So let's actually put this over 4 just so that we can add them together. That'd be 224. 225 minus 224 is 1 over 4. Much easier number now, right? Square root, positive, negative. So s plus 15 over 2 equals positive, negative. Square root of 1 over square root of 4 is 1/2. Minus 15 over 2, minus 15 over 2. And we are going to get that s equals, all right, so let's see. 1/2 minus 15 over 2. 1 minus 15 is negative 14 over 2, or negative 7. And negative 1/2 minus 15 over 2, or plus negative 15 over 2, is negative 16 over 2, which is negative 8. So my answers are negative 7 and negative 8. Negative 7 and negative 8. So let's try this next one. R squared minus 4r plus blank equals 165 plus blank. Negative 4 divided by 2. Negative 2, right? Negative 2 squared is 4. What I do to one side, I must do to the other. So I get r minus 2 squared equals 169. Square root on both sides, positive, negative. So I have positive negative 13 equals r minus 2. Plus 2. R equals 13 plus 2 is 15. Negative 13 plus 2, negative 11. So I have 15 and negative 11. Let's try number 10. So we have t squared plus 2t plus blank equals 224 plus blank. I moved this to the other side by adding it to both sides, right? So I can complete my square. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 1 squared is 1. Square root both sides, positive, negative. So t plus 1 equals positive, negative. What is the square root of 225? 15. Minus 1. T equals 15 minus 1 is 14. Negative 15 minus 1 is negative 16. So 14 and negative 16. I want you guys to try number 11. X squared plus 18x plus blank equals 175 plus blank. Complete the square and solve. Half of 18 is 9. 9 squared is 81. Positive negative square root. X plus 9 equals positive negative 16. 16 minus 9 is 7. Negative 16 plus negative 9, negative 25. So 7 and negative 25. Try two more together. I want you guys to try number 16. All right, so we could actually pull out a 3 here, can't we? Pull out a 9. Pull out a 9. If we pull out a 9, we'd have z squared plus 48 divided by 9. 5 1/3, so that's 48 divided by 9. (16/3). 36 divided by 9. 4. Okay, so then I'm only pulling 9 out of here, huh? I don't need to do the 36. We'll leave that as a 36. Let's see. We'll figure it out. All right, so divide by 2. 16/3 divided by 2 would be 16/6. Square it. 256 over 36 times 9. However it works. Is 64. 256 over 36 times 9 is 64, right? 36 plus 64 is 100. Divide by 9. Square root, positive, negative. 10 over 3. Minus 16 over 6. Divide 10 over 3 minus 16 over 6, and 10 over 3 plus 16 over 6. Make these 6's. 20 minus 16 is 4/6, which is 2/3. 20 plus 16 is 36 over 6, which is 6. So 2/3 and 6. But this was negative, right? Sorry, negative. Wait. Plus and minus, plus. Okay. Oh no, sorry, those were both minus. This is plus and this was minus, my bad. This was both plus, both minus. I cannot even concentrate on my work. We subtracted 16/6 from both. It was positive, negative 10/3, so positive, negative. So negative 20, that's going to be negative. Negative 20 minus 16 is negative 36 over 6, which is negative 6. Be really careful with your signs. So if you go back to here where I had this, it was positive, negative 10/3 minus 16/3, so positive 10/3, negative 10/3, minus 16/6 on both of them. So this one would be negative, this one ends up being positive. So positive 2/3 and negative 6 are your answers. So let's go back to the top of this one. So what did I do? I put the plus blank on both sides. I pulled out here, I pulled out a 9. So I didn't have a leading coefficient. So I pulled that 9 out, and I had this. So then I took this, half of that, and I squared it. Then I had to multiply that by 9 before adding it to the other side. The 36 was alone because I didn't pull a 9 out of the 36. It was on the other side of the equation. I didn't pull a 9 out of it. Is everyone clear on how I did that? Try number 17. Let me do it on a separate sheet of paper so we actually have room. Or maybe I can just do it right up here. Okay, I'll just put it up in this space. Is there anything with 49 and 28 that can be pulled out? Like 7, right? So you guys get that initial setup? I pulled out a 7. So 7x squared plus 4x plus blank times 7 equals 60 plus blank. We okay on that setup? So now, what is half of 4? Actually, did I want to do that or no? I want to pull out the whole number, don't I? It'll make my life a lot easier. Instead of pulling out just part of it, let's pull out the whole thing. Let's pull out the whole 49. 49 times x squared is 49x squared, right? If I pull out a 49, that'd be 28 over 49, right? Does that reduce? Can I reduce 28 over 49? Isn't that 4/7? Trying to make this as easy as possible. All right. I know this is confusing. The ESCs at a regular level, so they most likely won't have a leading coefficient in anything that's being completed in the square. It won't be these harder ones. It'll be like these easier ones up here. Does that make sense? Because it's going to be at a regular level, not an advanced level. All right, so if I had 4/7, half of 4/7 is what? 4/7 times 1/2 is 4 over 14, which is 2 over 7. Right? 4 over 14 is 2 over 7. And 2/7 squared would be 4 over 49. 4 over 49 times 49 is really just 4. You guys see how I did that?
So now you have to bring down the 49. We have 49 times x plus 2 sevenths squared equals 64. Divide by 49 on both sides. We get x plus 2 sevenths squared equals 64 over 49. Square root both sides, positive, negative. We get x plus 2 sevenths equals positive, negative. The square root of 64 is 8. The square root of 49 is 7. Subtract 2 sevenths from both sides. Negative 2 sevenths plus or minus 8 sevenths. 8 minus 2, 6 sevenths. And then negative 2 plus negative 8 is negative 10 sevenths. So your answers are 6 sevenths and negative 10 sevenths. And we're going to cut it off here. So I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Please like and subscribe and have a great day.